Be vegan. Make peace. Do good deeds. Heaven Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Because it's just wrong that people have to choose between eating, their rent and taking their medications or buying their medications. In the United States of America in 2022, it's just wrong.
Mark Cuban, on a mission to provide affordable medication. Please continue watching to find out more.
No to vegan? Sure, your place in hell is booked.
If you hear the phrase Shukhi Hon, it means be happy in Bengali, the national language of Bangladesh. Esteemed viewers, I am Jinia. The peaceful people of Bangladesh are touched by your steadfast faith in the goodness of the human heart. May we follow our inner voice to live in harmony with nature and all of Allah's creation. Today we are pleased to present our show, Mark Cuban, on a mission to provide affordable medication. Mr. Cuban is a widely known billionaire, United States entrepreneur who makes appearances as an investor on the American reality TV show Shark Tank. Mr. Cuban has revealed that he has invested in vegan brands, including but not limited to Everything Legendary, Pants Mushroom Jerky, New Milk, Mrs. Goldfarb's Unreal Deli, and Wild Earth vegan dog food. Mr. Cuban also partakes in philanthropic activities such as the AI Boot Camps initiative. This program hosts free camps that teach artificial intelligence or AI concepts and skills to American high school students for free. His recent endeavor, the Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drug Company, or CPDC, seeks to revolutionize the pharmacy industry by selling low-cost medication that is affordable for Americans. This noble aim came about when Dr. Alex Oshmiansky, who is the co-founder and CEO of CPDC, reached out to Mr. Cuban via email. Dr. Oshmiansky initially started the company when he became frustrated over the cost of generic drugs that he prescribed to his patients. Even though the two men had never previously met, Mr. Cuban is known for answering cold emails, and the business struck a chord with him. Upon learning more about the company, its mission, and the challenges faced within the industry, he decided to financially back the entire business. To understand the magnitude of CPDC's goal, it's important to recognize the hardship of people who can't afford to pay for their prescribed medicine. A 2021 poll conducted by Gallup and West Health found that 7% of adults in the United States couldn't afford to pay for at least one medication prescribed by their doctor. This is the equivalent of 18 million people. 10% of respondents admitted to missing dosages of their medicine in order to save money. They also found that medication insecurity is worse on average in people who are most in need of prescription drugs. This includes persons with serious health conditions such as diabetes, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and those with a compromised immune system. 16% of workers admitted to staying in an unwanted job so that they could keep access to health benefits provided by their employer, including pharmaceuticals. According to a Gallup poll conducted between 2020 and early 2021, 2/3 of American adults stated that reducing the cost of drugs was a high or the highest priority for the country. One may wonder how such a successful entrepreneur would have empathy for those in a less privileged financial situation. Mr. Cuban has revealed that in the past, he also experienced scenarios where he wasn't able to pay for health care. He has stated,
I have not had recent experience, but I have had to pass up medical care in the past because I didn't have insurance and couldn't afford the required care.
What is deeply concerning is that in the USA, where pharmaceutical companies are able to set their own prices, not being able to afford medication can and does result in death. Dr. Alex Oshmiansky has given a very sad example of this.
I was working with a pulmonologist at one point, and his patients needed a drug called Bosentan. And the pulmonologist came in furious one day because 2 of his patients had died because they were not able to afford the drug.
This is simply tragic. It is no wonder that many people, including Dr. Oshmiansky and Mr. Cuban, feel that this situation needs to change.
Because it's just wrong that people have to choose between eating, their rent and taking their medications or buying their medications. In the United States of America in 2022, it's just wrong. And it was obvious there was not going to be a political solution. And even the attempts that are being discussed don't really get to the heart of the problem.
Since co-founding the Mark Cuban Cost Plus drug company, Mr. Cuban has shed some light on how medicines are traditionally priced within the industry.
There must be a lot of inefficiencies in the process to allow that to happen one way or the other. And so that's what got us going with it. And then the more you dig into how drugs are priced, how they're sold, the supply chain that is developed to enable the purchase and sale of them, it's convoluted in a way that made it ripe for disruption.
In the United States, entities called Pharmacy Benefit Managers, or PBMs, take care of prescription drug benefits offered by health insurers, large companies, unions, and other groups. PBMs contract with pharmaceutical firms and pharmacies and ask for their best prices on medications. PBMs also request that they be given rebates from the drug manufacturers, which are essentially discounts on the medications. Although it is implied that these cost savings will be passed on to the consumer, the PBMs tend to keep a portion of the rebate in order to improve their profits. And generally, the higher a medication costs, the higher the rebate is for the PBM. The CPDC has created its own PBM to negotiate with pharmaceutical providers. Because it deals directly with drug manufacturers to purchase medications without any rebates, this enables it to buy the pharmaceuticals at a lower price, and the CPDC passes on its cost savings to its customers. As it turns out, nearly 80% of U.S. prescriptions are managed by only 3 PBMs. This has made people wonder how Mr. Cuban's company would succeed in this industry that is perceived to be dominated by big players.
They do have a lot of power. They do have a lot of lobbying muscle. Our hope is we'll get enough traction with consumers, and that's one of the reasons I put my name on it, so it can't just be just some vague company that people really don't connect to. By putting my name on it, there's somebody responsible for it, and that's me. And so if any of the big companies, the wholesalers and others decide to take action, they'll know, and I'll be very clear and vocal about what's going on publicly, and I have a big platform to do so.
Another factor that can influence the price of prescription drugs is that people who don't have health insurance often pay more. Thankfully, people without insurance can easily purchase their pharmaceuticals from CPDC. Their pricing model is very transparent and is shared with consumers who can see the price at which the company purchased the medication. It then marks up the medicine by a flat rate of 15% and adds a $3 pharmacy labor fee as well as $5 for shipping costs. With this pricing system, some medications are 10 times cheaper when purchased through CPDC. An example of a significant cost reduction is the medication imatinib that is used to treat patients with leukemia. For 30 tablets at 400 milligram strength, the drug can retail for up to approximately $2,400 at major national pharmacies. But at CPDC, the cost is $39 plus $8 for the pharmacy labor fee and shipping. As of July 2022, CPDC provides approximately 800 generic medications. The challenge of providing brand name medications has been acknowledged, and the enterprise is working on offering these in the near future, hopefully in 2023. The firm also plans to manufacture its own generic drugs in a purpose-built factory in Dallas, Texas. This would enable the business to provide generic pharmaceuticals at an even lower cost. Mr. Cuban is deeply committed to CPDC's success because it is so helpful for people who are in need of pharmaceuticals. Our thanks to Mr. Cuban for his empathy towards the challenges that everyday Americans are facing, and for his commitment to helping individuals afford needed prescription drugs. We wish Mr. Cuban and all of the team at the Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drug Company every success with its mission to provide Americans with access to affordable medicines. May God always shield you as you serve others. To learn more about Mark Cuban and the Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drug Company, please visit markcubancompanies.com, costplusdrugs.com.
Who cares about peace as long as you and yours are safe in a special palace? Taxpayers happily scramble for meager necessities while paying more through tax or inflation. So you can sit pretty, stuffing yourself with all the animal people's dead flesh till you collapse with gluttony.
Intelligent viewers, it has been a pleasure to have you with us today for our program. Coming up next is God's Grace and World Prayer for a Total Global Change, Part 2 of 6, on Between Master and Disciples. May your days be filled with good thoughts, kind people, and happy moments.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/GPGW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/GPGW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/GPGW.
हमारे कार्यक्रम पेश किए जाते हैं कई भाषाओं में। कृपया देखें suprememastertv.com/schedule और suprememastertv.com/GPGW।